But yeah, first of all, this pretty much covers the whole history of Quake 2's multiplayer. So I don't know. I'm gonna let who's this guy? GG Beyond talk here in his 2011 presence here, and I wouldn't care less for any much else other than the multiplayer pretty much. So let's roll it.
There was already a nice saturation of activity because of the
And I have
original
seen this.
Quake
It's just
success.
been a while.
Quake 2 was built from the ground up to support the latest trends in gaming: hardware-accelerated graphics, improved networking, ease of modding, and support for more players on a server. In this video, we'll take a look at the multiplayer side of Quake 2.
And it is pretty much the multiplayer side that influenced many of the the FPS genre. So it was like it had all the trends here.
Modders of the original Quake had a head start when it came to content creation. The tools already existed, and the modders were proficient in their usage. The only thing the tools needed was a simple update to deploy for Quake 2. In fact, many of the game ideas were already playtested in the original Quake. All a mod needed was new sounds and skins, and you have something ready to play. Multiplayer came back fully stocked with the features we all loved and more. 64-player dedicated servers, easier mod...
64! 64 is a lot for that day. Like, in Quake World, for example, what was it, year 96? Pretty much in the very late 96. People were hoping for even like 16 player support. 16 only. Because like at the Quake World launch event, it only had like 8 players. But the servers could allow for like even more. 16. And that's pretty much it. But 64 in Quake 2 was a lot.
mod creation, and an already well-established community. The basic multiplayer options allow you to change your handedness, your skin, and even your gender. Like with the original Quake, you connected to servers using Quake Spy.
Oh yeah, Quake
Let's
Spy.
start with the basic deathmatch. You have 8 pure deathmatch maps, plus all the single-player maps with various walls removed and teleporters sprinkled around to make them more like an arena. So you have over 40 maps ready to go for deathmatch on the disc. As for the weapons, the rocket launcher seems to be much weaker than its counterpart from the original Quake.
Yeah.
The rocket...
like before the weapons, actually, like it was mind-blowing how one disc and even one update could contain all the things for a multiplayer mode for the game. And that is something else. Like 40, what was it, over 40 maps, including the single-player maps. That was even more than the Noble Deathmatch maps you had. I mean, the map we saw here, right, this one, I can't remember its name, but I have played through Quake 2 already in the series as well, and I did play through this. Like he said, many of the walls and everything, and teleporters and everything were changed. Not only walls, but even floors and everything, added secrets. It was pretty much done the same as Doom 2. That was the same thing. While Doom 2 didn't actually have any deathmatch maps. What up, Yeriko? It did have like the support for, I don't know, or not the support, but like many of the maps in the single player were changed to like multiplayer format. For example, map 7, Dead Simple, in like the map in single player that had all the Mancubi and the Arachnotrons and the exit in the middle. It was actually changed a little. Somebody added, like, I can't remember who made the maps, but somebody added the BFG in the corner and a very small like cube where you could also exit the level from. And that's pretty cool. And in Quake 2 they edited the levels even more. Like this should be a door, but now it's a wall.
launcher seems to be much weaker than its counterpart from the original Quake.
Yeah.
The rockets move much slower, so doing the damage becomes obscenely difficult beyond a short range.
Yeah, and that's what they thought in Quake already when they saw the multiplayer. They pretty much saw that the best used weapons were the rocket launcher and the LG. I could already see in Quake 2, before the expansions that is, that they did a large nerf on both. I mean, the Lodge is on LG. The LG doesn't even exist in normal Quake 2, so. And rockets, naturally slower. They kind of made them more realistic. And that's why I call Quake 2 the most realistic Quake. Still not realistic of all
I
of them.
feel they may have gone overboard with the rocket launcher nerf. Instead of this, I would rather use the hit scan weapons like the chain gun.
That's what they
A
added.
barrage of bullets is practically a guaranteed kill. Even though the chain gun quickly goes through your ammo, the abundance of bullets in deathmatch makes this a non-issue. All that matters is the frag count. The BFG
much.
10K is usually placed in a hard-to-reach location, but once you get your hands on it, everyone else just dies. Of course, if you like to get your kills with skills, the railgun is
Everyone
the
else
best
just
weapon for the
dies.
job. It's an instant
the
hit
railgun.
weapon that deals heavy damage and goes through the target. It's extremely effective in a tight corridor where everyone just lines up. One weakness to note is that the trail of particles left behind will give away your
Yeah.
position. It's still very effective in a one-on-one situation, though the element of surprise will make it much more powerful. Deathmatch was really fun back in the day, and it was just as accessible as the original Quake.
It pretty much was. And the thing is about the weapons still, the railgun was what actually made a Quake 2 very popular. And it's iconic, most iconic weapon in the game. And the thing is, it was also a hit scan weapons, and there were a lot of hit scan weapons in Quake 2. Like Quake 1, it didn't have many. The nail guns, they were projectile weapons, but the shotguns pretty much were the only ones. And that's pretty much it. And of course the LG. It's a weapon that, as the famous TH said, just works. BFG 10K, yeah, pretty much. But also the railgun. Like, well, yeah, about the BFG also. Like, they brought it back, because Quake 1 didn't actually have a BFG, sort of. They were going to add Chain Lightning, which was a counterpart to the Thunderbolt. Like the heavier counterpart. The super LG, I guess. Because, you know, there was the shotgun, the super shotgun, there was nail gun, the super nail gun, and then there was the grenade launcher and rocket launcher. Thunderbolt was also going to have one, but they ran out of time, so they actually left only 7 weapons in the game. Well, technically 8. There's like the axe as well. Was it 9 actually? I can't remember. Quake expansion had a chain lightning gun, right? Yeah, it was. Damn it, was it Scourge of Armageddon or Dissolution of Eternity? But it wasn't like. Functioning the same way the chain lightning was going to function, because the chain lightning was still going to be a hit scan weapon, like the Thunderbolt, of course, and the like anyone you hit with it was going to tether any nearby opponents with the lightning, and yeah, also hurt them. But the Scourge of Armageddon or Dissolution of Eternity, which one was it? I think it was Armageddon actually. It fired projectiles, and when they hit the enemy, they would actually then tether like some additional lightnings to them, to the other opponents or other enemies. What the hell? Anyway, yeah, the railgun, or in general the hit scan weapons, were heavily used in Quake 2, as well as abundant, because yeah, there were many to choose from: shotguns, machine guns. Or machine gun and chain gun, rather, and then there's the rail, pretty much.
Quake 2 improved on the technology from the original Quake in every aspect. There is no Quake 2 world or GL Quake 2.
No.
Everything is built into the engine, and even had 3-wave capture the flag included in the latest patch.
Yeah, and that was incredible back in the day. Like, no longer you needed an additional executable for GL or a Quake world. You could just play it on the go from the disc. Just, yeah. There was like, when you open Quake 2, there's already like game or multiplayer, or pretty much, yeah. Right under the game you see multiplayer, and then you could choose from like single, what the hell, deathmatch or cooperative. That's what I mean. And that's pretty much, like, that's pretty cool. Everything in one executable.
All the goodness of CTF from the original Quake was brought into Quake 2, and it includes 5 CTF maps. The grappling hook makes its return, along with the runes of power, which are now tech power-ups. Different looks, same stuff. But when you combine this with the arsenal of Quake 2, you start to run into some concerns with balance. For example, you can easily clear out a flag room with the BFG-10K, even easier when you have the power amplifier. CTF is really fun to play. There's only a handful of official CTF maps, but other maps could be made with the tools available.
Yeah.
There were many map editors for both the original Quake and Quake 2, but the one I have the most experience with is the one called Worldcraft. The basics of creating a map is the placement of brushes and entities. Creating a map with a handful of rooms, pickups, and lights is something anyone can do. Something more ambitious that people would actually host on their servers requires much more paper planning and designing ahead of time. This was something I could never figure out how to do back in the day. Then again, I was only 12. Worldcraft was released back in 1996
well,
by
neither
Ben
could have I,
Morris.
actually.
This was first used to create custom Quake maps, then he implemented support for Quake 2 maps. By 1997, Valve hired Ben and acquired the rights to Worldcraft for use as the map editor for Half-Life. Eventually, Worldcraft became what we know now as the Hammer editor, used to make maps for games using the Source engine. Let's go back to Quake 2. With the numerous editing tools and strong community...
Actually, let's go back to Half-Life, because while I do cover Half-Life, actually, in its episode pretty much, and maybe even its multiplayer, it was very influential, like Quake 2 right here. It affected Half-Life as well, and Half-Life through Quake 2 affected the whole FPS genre. Not only with the story and everything, but also in multiplayer. The next arena FPS pretty much was, after Unreal, I guess, Half-Life. That's pretty much it. Picture current day gamers trying to make maps with this kind of map creation tool. Kids today will never know the struggle, yeah. Especially. But yeah, about Three-Way as well. It was made by David Zoid Kirsch. I was kind of wondering what the nickname was, but yeah, it's Zoid. And it was already in Quake 2, of course, and he made it, and so id, while it was, of course, trending, Capture the Flag and everything, they hired David and made him develop the CTF mode for Quake 2 then. And that was pretty much continuing the trend of CTF and everything, not only in Quake 2, but also other games. And about the tech powers as well, like CTF did go on to Quake 3, but I think it was in, not Quake 3, but Team Arena rather. And in Team Arena you had those same tech power-ups, but differently named. I think the power-up amplifier, or the power amplifier now in Quake 3 Team Arena is the doubler. Pretty much doubles your damage, yeah, as the name goes. And also there was ammo regen, there was guard. There was the ultimate or the auto heal tech power up. I cannot remember its name, but it's in Three-Way of Quake 2. And that's pretty much it. Like they, I think, I don't know if David actually developed that mode, but it was also fascinating seeing it in Quake 3 Team Arena. Although that one didn't last very long. I don't know if Quake 3 Team Arena had a player base for quite many years. Like Quake 3, of course, did, but its expansion was something else. I've only played it in single player.
Support for Quake, it's no surprise that everything transitioned smoothly into Quake 2. The modders continued their work, exchanging ideas for innovative gameplay, and creating new skins, models, and sound effects. I played quite a few multiplayer mods back then, but because of the nature of multiplayer gaming, I can only show you 3 of them.
Yeah.
Digital Paint 2 was one of the mods I played a lot back in the day. The mod did exist for the original Quake, but I like this version much more. It's a mod that tries to replicate the paintball experience as much as possible. There's a large variety of paintball guns and accessories to choose from. You can upgrade your gun with new barrels, hoppers, and CO2 canisters to increase your capabilities. But as with real paintball, it only takes one hit to knock someone out.
Yeah, it's pretty
Getting
much
used to the
insta-give.
physics is key to being good at this. It's not
With
as simple as the
projectiles.
point-and-click hit-scan weapons of vanilla Quake 2. The paintballs will begin to fall once fired,
Yeah.
it will take some time before it hits something. You have to compensate for player movements and distances, so the learning curve is
Everybody's just
reasonably
bunny
high.
hopping.
The mod doesn't have you reloading your hopper, or to a lesser extent, your CO2.
Yeah.
The black CO2 cartridges will last you for an entire round, regardless of their varying sizes. So as long as you have one of the hoppers and the black CO2, you will never look at the counters. Depending on the map, you have the ability to respawn after some time when you get tagged. This time is dependent on the server settings, which can be upwards of a minute. But from my experience, one team is usually eliminated before the timer expires.
Yeah,
During
I
this
can tell.
downtime, you can use this opportunity to observe other players and learn from them. There's
So it's pretty much insta-gear, but with projectiles. And honestly, the less violent version of Quake 2, to be honest. I mean, well, the least violent, maybe. Of course, you're just shooting people with guns, but they're paintball guns. That's pretty much it. And I don't know. I haven't played paintball in real life myself, but I can tell that it's pretty much like this. Although not everybody bunny hopping in real
tons
life.
of maps, all of course made by the community. They do their best to replicate a real-world paintball arena, so you'll be able to take advantage of those wooden firing ports, watchtowers, and pillboxes. The graphics and sounds were all well done. The paintball guns have that sharp blast of air when you fire, and a lot of random sound clips were thrown into the mod for good measure.
Oh, yeah.
These include those from The Simpsons,
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Men in Black,
You have any idea how much that stings?
and that hilarious commercial for Life Call.
I've fallen.
I'm
and
swollen.
I can't get up. I've fallen. And I can't get up.
We're sending
Play
help
paintball.
immediately, Mrs. Fletcher.
The mod was really
Once in
fun
your
back
life,
in the day.
alright.
One of the better mods in my opinion. There have been a few commercial paintball games released over the years, but they have a tendency to not be good.
Yeah.
A copy of
I can
Quake
tell.
2 and a download of the Digital Paint 2 mod was all you needed to get your paintball fix in the late 90s. Weapons Factory is a class-based
Oh, yeah.
mod very
We do
similar
get to
Team
Weapons Factory now. Went home with a giant spot on your leg. Oh, no. Like, they do hurt. I damn no, but yeah. Not from experience, but yeah, it's just a fact. Anyway, Weapons Factory. This one, or neither is Digital Paint. In the, what is it? The Netpack 1 Extremities I played. And, well, there is actually Action Quake 2 and Weapons of Destruction, but not Weapons Factory. This is the first iteration of Weapons Factory. I think this was also in Quake 3. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, I just remember my visor being extremely foggy. Couldn't see shit. Well, yeah. There was also some parts where you could actually get your visor foggy here as well. Anyway, Weapons Factory. Pretty much the TF, or the Quake World Team Fortress, I guess, of Quake 2. And I'm just going to let him talk here.
Fortress. The idea for the mod came
Yeah,
to get
I
your
guess he
paintball
already
fix
said
in
it.
the late 90s. Weapons Factory is a class-based mod very similar to Team Fortress.
Yeah, there
the
it is.
idea for the mod came around when the original modders for Team Fortress joined up with Valve instead of sticking with Quake 2. Another group of people decided to fill the empty space with Weapons Factory.
Yeah.
The classes are very similar to those of Team Fortress. They have similar weapons and roles, but they manage to take on completely different playstyles. The Arsonist is essentially the pyro equipped with a freeze gun, because that's what Arsonists do.
Yeah,
they
it's-
freeze people.
yeah, that's
of
what
course,
they
do
do.
have the flamethrower, flare gun, and a napalm launcher. His job is freezing enemies in place, so his allies don't have to worry about them. It's a hard class to play as, but a good Arsonist will make everyone else's job much easier. The gunner
Damn.
takes on the role of heavy weapons guy,
Yeah.
or heavy weapons girl in this case.
Oh, yeah,
Her
yeah,
mega chain
of
gun
course.
and laser defenses make her the best class for defending the flag. The mega chain gun in particular can be considered one of the best weapons in the game, but the ammo is depleted so quickly that her offensive capabilities are very limited. She usually stays at home. The Marine
Yeah.
is more of
And
an all-around
I think she
class
cannot even
similar to
move
the
while
soldier.
firing.
He carries the rocket launcher, pellet rocket launcher, and a hyper blaster. The turret grenades he carries floats in the air and fires railgun slugs when it sees an enemy player. And he has a grappling hook that can be fired without switching to it. And he has proxy grenades to control the map. Many players tend to play as the Marine because he just has everything. The radio commands made it very easy to communicate with your team when something's happening.
Oh, yeah.
A simple
Oh.
key press can let the entire team know the location of incoming enemies. It's not just a text message, but an actual voiceover unique to each class.
Yeah, and that was what actually made even Team Fortress 2 very damn popular. I mean, well, the thing is, it was inspired from this mod alone. I mean, even Team Fortress Classic, when Valve made that to their Gold Source engine, basically Quake World Team Fortress in their Gold Source engine, they only had like one dude making all the voice acting and only like, what, 5 lines, including, "Excuse me, I'm in need of medical attention," all that shit, I don't know. And also the hurting sounds and everything, which they were also used in Deathmatch Classic, so, yeah. I mean, this time the classes had personalities and everything, and Valve was to get inspired from this mod alone when creating Team Fortress 2. And I think when they were done with Team Fortress Classic, they started to develop the second Team Fortress already. And I think they released the trailer of it, but it never got published. It looks more like a military shooter than just a... What can you even call Team Fortress? I don't know. Other than militaristic, but in any case, more war themed, I guess. Anyway, yeah. So, Weapons Factory. What should I say about it? Seriously, I mean, the voice commands alone were super handy for like communication, of course. But like back in the day, you had nothing else but just do writing in chat or just making your own binds, like enemy incoming from blah blah blah. And yeah, this time you even had sound files and everything, so nobody actually had to look at the chat. Like, where's he coming? And then the message actually disappears. You can only listen to like enemy incoming, for example, with the arsonist or the heavy weapons
So if
girl.
someone is coming down the ramp, everyone will know immediately.
Yeah.
The levels are similar to those you would find in Team Fortress, even going as far as...
Wait, hero shooters. Wait, what? What the hell? Hearing a lot of things that are standard games features. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, hero shooters came out of Quake, Modern Military Shooters, so on. Yeah, I mean, they were inspired already from like 20 years back. Those games, for example, Quake 2, right here.
is recreating 2 forts for use in Weapons Factory.
Oh yeah.
You have the spawn rooms with all the ammo, and teleporters that can take you anywhere in your base.
Boop.
Weapons Factory really was a good alternative to Team Fortress.
It sure was.
It's no better or worse, it's just different. This was really fun back in the day, and it's a shame that you can no longer play this mod anymore. Action Quake 2 caught my attention
yeah.
the first time I saw it. The biggest draw was its realistic gameplay, not the kind of realism you see these days, but the realism of an action movie. If you get shot, you start to bleed and lose health over time.
Yeah, that was something else. Like, I cannot believe how Action Quake 2 was just made. I don't know how many action films they watched, but it has to be Die Hard at least. Damn, just many other like urban action movies. God damn it, I'm gonna kill them, and if I get shot, I'm just gonna bleed out. I gotta bandage myself. God damn it. Die Hard is one of them at least. But like about the mod itself, I mean, he's gonna probably describe it a little bit. It wasn't like completely realistic. You could still like bunny hop around and everything, but back in the day, people didn't like even discover such a thing, so why not? But yeah, the weapon selection and everything, especially the models for the weapons, it was something else at the time. And the mod was made in just a couple months, I think. It was still in '97, and I guess it was December. No, wait, I think it was 98, yeah. But in any case, just under a year, to be exact. For me, this whole stuff would take maybe even, like, more than just a year, god damn it. Especially modeling and stuff where I'm very bad at.
Then you have to take cover and bandage yourself. It's not like modern games where you hide behind a wall and regain your health. Once you finish bandaging yourself, you just stop bleeding.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this mod that recovers your health. This was one of the first few mods to feature location-based damage and an accuracy system.
Oh yeah,
A shot to
headshots
the
also.
armor legs will deal less damage than a shot to the head, but they will affect the movement and accuracy of the target. The accuracy of your shots depend on whether you're moving or standing still, and if you're standing or crouching. You also have the ability to jump kick another player. You can just imagine all the crazy things you can do with this,
Oh.
especially at the top of a skyscraper. You
Yeah.
take so much more damage from even the slightest drop distances. A 5 damage drop in Vanilla Quake 2 is a 50 damage drop that cripples your movement in this mod.
Yeah. I
With
can
the
tell.
exception of a
Roof.
pistol and a knife, there is only one of each type of weapon on the map.
Oh, yeah.
So that means one sniper rifle, one MP5, one Mossberg, and so on. So rather than being this elite super soldier with a wide selection of weapons to
Oh,
choose
yeah.
from, you're more of a John McClane type of character
Yeah.
in Action Quake 2.
Sorry, he just let's see that again. Actually, he fired his hand cannon here, which
So
is
rather than
actually
being-
called in the game, and then the character just died in full damage.
This elite super soldier with a wide selection of weapons to choose from, you're more of a John McClane type of character in Action Quake 2.
Yeah.
There's also a team elimination mode where you can choose a
Camera.
primary weapon and a special
Action.
item when you spawn. This mode was like a slower, more complex version of Counter-Strike long before Counter-Strike existed. And
It sure was, but it certainly wasn't slower. It was much faster. Goddammit. Even pushes them back. Also, yeah, that's what it is. But he pushed himself like the enemy up. God damn it. But it certainly wasn't like any slower than Counter-Strike, for God's sake. It's much faster. But the thing is, it was long before Counter-Strike itself. And the first time you're actually looking at this, it's like, wait, this is Counter-Strike and Quake 2. What the hell? But the thing is, Action Quake 2 had a couple developers that went on to developing Counter-Strike itself. So, the mod, I mean, of course, yeah. Until Valve hired them. And that's pretty much it.
an assortment of special items includes silencers and laser sights, but I prefer to just use the Kevlar vest.
Yeah.
The level design of most maps centered around urban environments, offices, apartments, rooftops, and alleyways. They tend to lack a lot of the polish like computers on a desk, couches and chairs, trash cans, and just the finer details to make the environment much more realistic. It's only a minor complaint though. The average PC of the time could only run Quake 2 on the lower graphics
Yeah.
settings, so performance was favored much more than immersion. I would like to see more games utilize the action movie realism instead of the real-life realism we see these days, if only because it's been done so many times now.
Yeah.
I just want to kick another player off a skyscraper and have them complain about the lag. Even with all the cool and original mods created for Quake 2, there was one big difference between this and the original Quake. And that is the amount of competition.
Oh, yeah.
During the times
Oh,
of
yeah.
subscription-based online multiplayer, the original Quake strayed away from this by giving away dedicated server software to the public and allowing them to play online for free. Gamers like free stuff, but they can't play everything. When you have more companies investing in multiplayer games, first-person shooters, and offering free access to online multiplayer features, players now have to spend their time more wisely.
Yeah.
Quake 2 had a vast ocean of competition within its first 2 years of release. A few examples were Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Star Siege Tribes, Unreal, Half-Life, and Diablo. And
Yeah, and pretty much the FPS games are just right here. This goddamn Tetris Square, for God's sake. Like, they had, like, Quake 2 itself had many competitors, but Quake 2 itself was the first one. After that may have come Unreal, then Half-Life, then Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, I think. I might be mixing Half-Life and Rainbow Six, but in any case, Unreal was one that was trying to compete with Quake 1. But its development was, like, taking so long, it actually competed with Quake 2. And, like, not only with the graphics and the single player, everything, like the open maps and such, but also on, like, multiplayer itself. Unreal and Epic Games later just developed an Unreal Tournament, made it compete with Quake 3 then. So it was all about multiplayer later on and the whole FPS genre, apart from Half-Life, of course.
despite being offline, Even the Nintendo 64 pulled some PC gamers away with the
yeah.
release of GoldenEye. id Software was slowly
I like his choice of words. Pulled away PC gamers to consoles. Oh no, 1 FPS. Like I'm not actually complaining. It is actually a very good FPS, but it didn't actually like. Did Nintendo 64 feature any like net play? Of course not. It was a console. Maybe yeah, 64 bits naturally, but like I don't know. Like I didn't even play GoldenEye, and I haven't played it. But like, not only have I not played it, I didn't even play it at the time. But damn, pulled away PC gamers. I'm very certain that it created some like tournaments as well or something. If you could link your Nintendo 64 somehow, I don't know. I mean, you could play it on split screen, but you're seeing your opponent at the same time.
losing momentum. Everyone else was doing what they were doing, and in some cases, outdoing them.
Yeah.
But that's not to take away from Quake 2's offerings. A strong community, a kick-ass soundtrack and hardware-accelerated
Sonic Mayhem.
graphics out of the box, as well as tons of mods as time went on. The single player was not as appealing as the multiplayer, but that was fine for most people. Quake 2 does not have the same groundbreaking factor that the first Quake had, or even that the first Doom had, but there were still improvements nonetheless. The industry was changing, gaming culture was changing, and it seemed like new communities were created every day.
Yeah.
In fact, the rise of competitive multiplayer gaming sparked the demand for a more professional experience.
And about the professional experience, this next part features the sequel, which only featured multiplayer. And we will sure get to that. We will sure get to the history of Quake 3's multiplayer especially, but like Quake 2 already covering many of the things. And sorry, I'm just gonna continue it for a while. It's not only Airsoft disassembling here, he has a cool intro here. Old school Quake 2 and Quake 2. Anyway, this features like his history with many of the mods in Quake 2 and everything, but like Quake 2 already, with its modding community and multiplayer community, contributed a lot to Quake 3 later on. But like it also had a very defining history, especially with Rail Arena, which is not right here, but it became Insta-Gib. I feel ashamed of not having played the old Quakes when they came out. Aw. Had Rainbow Six and Doom back then, for what I remember, yeah. And the thing is, yeah, Quake 2, well, the whole Quake series, the franchise influenced a lot. And we're going to see, like, many of the, well, this guy's history on the mods. I'm probably not going to watch the whole thing.
Let's get into another gameplay, or shout out for play. Let's play some Quake 2, right?
I don't know when he uploaded this, but
bots.
it's been a long time.
I'm having a little trouble with my mouse and my keyboard. Both wired.
He actually is playing with the Eraser bots, and that was one thing in Quake 2's multiplayer. If you didn't have players, you could practice with bots at least. And the bots, especially with their pathfinding, played moderately well for the time. I mean, it was featured in Netpack 1 Extremities, the add-on for Quake 2's multiplayer. And not only that, it had Action Quake 2, Weapons of Destruction, Real Arena, Rocket Arena 2, which we're also going to see here. Jailbreak, Capture the Flag already was in Quake 2. Freestack wasn't there, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Different companies. Actually, I have two mouses hooked up and
Two
and a
mouses.
keyboard,
Two
so it
mice,
makes it
you
a
mean.
little bit. I think the frequencies are messing with each other.
Two mouses, how you play with that?
You'll see my mouse kind of moving left and right sometimes when I don't want to.
Yeah. This is just gonna
Such
play for a
great
while.
Old game.
Yeah, it sure
What I
is.
liked about this game more was the fact that I could modify the game pretty easily. There wasn't a lot of cheaters back then, but we definitely had a lot of people making mods,
Yeah.
maps, It was just the skins.
Yeah, not only the modability of Quake 2, but also like about the cheating aspect a little bit. You could tweak the settings and everything, even in multiplayer. Some of the commands might have been, for example, SV cheats, naturally, was not allowed in multiplayer. Like not only that command, but many others, I think. But also, like I think FOV and such, they were still allowed. I mean, well, naturally, even nowadays, you could just change your FOV in FPS games if you want. But there was also like lighting things and everything, I think, which, especially MIP maps, yeah. If you just like disable textures completely, you might have actually added some more visibilities to, like, or against the players, yeah. That's pretty much it. For Quake 2 at least. And I think you could do the same in Quake 1 already, but Quake 2 might have popularized that a little bit. But yeah, go on, man.
So we did player skins. So we had a lot of get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
We had a lot of modifications to this game that made this game great, such as like Jailbreak and Rocket Arena and Capture the Flag, and these things weren't from ID Software specifically. They're from people that wanted to play this game just as much as I did. Here I am doing my railgun a little bit better. You can see. Sometimes I've got pinpoint accuracy. Sometimes the mouse is moving on me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta blame all the mouse. I mean, the thing is, like, even I had a tough time aiming with the railgun. Not only when I was at, the Tasteless Spleen servers, having a ping of 160 or something, and I couldn't even hit anybody there, for sure. But, like, even on the European servers I played on, the railgun, well, the rail comes from the gun itself, naturally, so that was, like, you needed to aim a little bit to the left, because the rail came a little to the right of your crosshair. But on longer ranges, that was more accurate, but still a little bit to the left, and that was good. Although the hitboxes and everything were still like moderately, easy to hit, but yeah. When you were crouching, yeah, I noticed that in the first part. I actually streamed that, yeah, over a week ago. When people were crouching, they were certainly harder to hit. Even when they were actually crouching, their hitbox was at their goddamn feet and not their head right here when they were crouching.
Yeah, I used to practice this game all the time where I wouldn't even miss a rail shot.
Yeah, but after a long time, he's a little rusty, to say the least.
Yeah, I'm just missing every shot right here.
Yeah.
Starting to piss me off.
Pisses me off. The thing is, the rest of the weapons, like with their spread, they were easy to hit.
Oh shit! I hate
easy to hit with.
have
Sorry.
The hyper blaster, mainly because they home in on you so well. Keep your distance from them.
You're gonna get the BFG?
No. Right there.
Nope, always not. Just trying to get the BFG here. It's just like funny to comment somebody's gameplay here while they're commenting themselves. It's like me being Flea or something, but I'm actually not reviewing his like gameplay. Grenade launcher.
Dodge that grenade.
Yeah, the tactile weapons were actually something else.
Yes,
maybe the bots.
Second commentary. Oh no.
Damn it.
Commentary. I'm just trying to get the thought in my head because I usually don't do that.
That's what he's doing actually. But the thing is, the bots might have actually done a very good job with the projectile weapons. Although the rocket launcher, even the grenade launcher, and the hyper blaster being basically the nail gun, they were all nerfed, to say the least, in Quake 2 compared to Quake 1. And especially, well, I don't know about the grenade launcher. I think the grenades actually do fall a little shorter. But major thing was the fire rate, and the same goes with the rocket launcher. The fire rate is basically the same, but the speed of the rockets made it made Quake 2 more of a hit scan thingy, and thus it doesn't even have the LG for that reason.
Voiceovers or anything like that. Shaboom! Right in that guy's face. I think we'll have a little fun throwing grenades up and down from here.
Yeah. I remember when I was streaming Quake 2 in Goals of FPS, Dirk Newcomb actually came in my chat and said that like when he saw this game, it was like already reminded of somebody in multiplayer that only threw grenades. He would just pick up a grenade and only throw them, even rocket jump with them, or grenade jump with this matter. But like he was so skillful with them, he like direct hit them pretty much always. At least get a kill with them as always. But yeah, that's pretty cool already. You could just do a lot of stuff with this. And this was also the first game, I think, where you could cook your grenade. So it's a weird thing, but yeah, still, it was the first one. I mean, it could blow up in your hand, so yeah.
I remember one time I was playing this map with a whole bunch of people, and this is all...
And yeah, by the way, the time you cooked it, actually, just like when you were aiming it and holding it longer, it actually throws the grenade a little further. But yeah, what were you saying? What were you
Have a
saying?
little fun throwing grenades up and down from here. I remember one time I was playing this map with a whole bunch of people, and this is all I did was throw grenades down like this. Got a ton of kills. Get some really cool grenade kills in this game.
Cool grenade kills on the same angle. They were only cool if you got like a triple kill with one
I was
grenade.
gonna throw each and every single one of these. So yeah, like I said, a little shout out if anyone wants to play some Quake 2, let's get down sometime.
This is an old video.
Especially
Maybe
if you
he
have some
actually
old mods
has
I'm gonna show around
stopped for a
here.
while again, but yeah.
Jailbreak's gonna be a lot of interesting to talk about, especially
Yeah.
if people have never played it. Ah, I didn't mean to.
Yeah,
fall
not
like
even
that.
me.
Get this right in his face. Grenade launcher is kind of weird. For some reason, I can always shoot this gun accurately without even really trying. I'm not sure why.
Well, it's because it's a grenade launcher.
I can dodge the grenade launcher pretty well, but for some reason I can hit people with it pretty well. I don't know why that is.
That's how I feel as well. This was a nice blast from the past. Sure was. What do you mean by that? You mean this? Quake 2 at the time was just like very
myself.
influential, and like, of course, people have many memories of it.
I always get the cells
Yeah, for the power shield.
and then use the oh, what is that called?
Power shield.
Shoot. It's a power cell armor suit or something.
Power shield.
When you get shot, it turns you green. It's just defense,
Games would be
really.
made like this again. Think about it. Yeah, I know, man, I know.
One thing about this map, whenever you go through that teleport, a lot of people go through it behind you and they kill you instantly. You know, do some more grenade throwing.
Yeah, because they know the goddamn TPs and everything. Doom 2016 made so much noise, yeah. I mean, the thing is, Quake 2 invented basically everything you're just wishing right now would be done again. So people would not be interested because, yeah, I don't know. At the time, of course, it was a new thing and a very nice thing, but here, like today, I mean, I don't know. A full remaster of Quake 3 Arena with literally the same features, all the same features. Yeah. So, Quake 3 Arena, basically in, what is it, ITech 6 we have right now, yeah. Or is it ITech 7 right now when Doom Eternal is coming out or something? I don't know. In any case.
50, and then I'm going to switch up this gameplay. Kind of just show around stuff, the old Quake 2 series.
Oh my god, what a grenade kill. They did that, yeah. That would be something else, actually.
Throw it down there. Oh, shit.
Throw it down there.
It's so simple to slip like that when your keyboard's messed up.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking, Chris. It was
Again, it's only
such
like the
a
connection.
very
I don't
good
know,
game.
Ever since I put this other mouse over here, I've had to use this mouse though, because the wired mouse I have, which is, let's see here, Logitech Laser. I can't remember some really.
He has a
high-tech
wireless mouse. Is he using that?
$80 mouse that, you know, it's very
$80 mouse.
size
Probably
and
$20
precision.
nowadays.
For some reason,
It would
lately
blow
it's
up, yeah.
just, it fumbles. Like it's smooth, but then all of a sudden it just gets caught. I tried switching out mouse pads, but it didn't do any good. So then I just decided I'll just use the other mouse. I'm not sure if the cable or something the laser got messed up. It's a couple years old. Kind of interesting how I shot him. It seemed like with my back. Way the guy falls.
But yeah, I'm just like reading Chris's comments here. The thing is, 20-year-old game bringing new AAA release to shame. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, to say the least, New Blood Interactive has already done that. With Dusk, with Amityville, probably even Maximum Action, although I don't know if that's from like some original FPS, but Rise of the Triad as well, although that's not from New Blood, that's just from Apogee themselves. Yeah, wait a minute. Dusk. They've done it already. As well as many other, many other, like indie FPS. There's that thing. Just indie. So I wouldn't care less for the triple A's and everything, because those are, I wouldn't say they're crappy, but like seriously, the most popular things. But what some people, like you, Chris, really want sometimes is just something old. And Dusk by New Blood Interactive delivers that pretty much. You should probably look into this Dusk multiplayer thing. I heard about it. It is fantastic. I gotta play it as well. Probably not stream it, but it is something else. Yeah, it's basically, I would say it's Quake World, Painkiller, something else as well. I don't know if there's a capture the flag mode, but I also wish there was. I don't know. 3-wave capture the flag in Dusk. Dusk wave. Dusk wave capture the flag made by Duskvit Kirsch. I don't know. Sorry about that.
Down with his ass. It's pretty funny. See, I'm having problems turning the mouse right there.
I don't know if he's actually
Oh, so you want a blaster, huh? Well, I'm gonna get something else.
Blaster Duel. I don't know if he's actually gonna show like jailbreak. I think he's gonna do it right here. Set game.
So here I am. I noticed I had 50 kills. Might as
Wait
well
to
do something
CTF.
else.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So we're going to switch it up. And I'm trying to play capture the flag, but I think I can't remember how to set it up. This is more of the like commercial version. There's vanilla capture the flag, and that one wasn't as commercial as this one is.
I mean,
by
what you call vanilla capture the flag wasn't even vanilla in the first Quake, so it finally is here.
commercial is it wasn't really sold, but they kind of launched it together with Quake. Kind of put it in there, which is nice. It didn't come with Quake specifically when it came out, but I mean, like later on, you could download it easily, free, installs to your directory.
With the Quake 2 demo itself, but
yeah,
and with the demo, actually, you could do a lot already. A lot, seriously, because like you had basically a basis for modding and everything, and you had like the whole like access to multiplayer and everything. You didn't even need the rest for the main game itself. The main game, if you bought it actually back in the day, you only had like the single player thing, like in addition to multiplayer and everything else. So that's pretty much it. Even CTF was free, freely downloadable when you downloaded Quake 2, the demo. And it is something else. Set
bring
game.
down the console and type in what I need.
Q2 CTF. Oh shit, it's CTF actually.
I keep setting it back to sudden death because it has to set up the game, and it goes through the mod files or whatever they call it.
Whatever they call it.
Okay, now I set the game up right. But something else is wrong. Try to go back. Try to go to a capture flag map, and it just crashes.
You already have a tech power up.
Because I can't remember the exact map. and it crashes right there. So I'm just like, okay,
Damn it.
you know what? We'll play a little bit more on a different level. A lot of the levels for Quake 2 was pretty interesting, pretty fun.
One of them. But it might have been a deathmatch map, but
Especially the jail levels.
it could also be
And
like
the great thing about this game is it has
single player one.
cooperative, which I try to play later in the video, but it doesn't work either. Because I'm using the console. When you use the console, sometimes you get into the game mode that you're playing, but it locks you out. So you have
launch
to exit
command.
the game, which I can't really do with fraps on. I'd have to stop recording. So I just decided not to do that for now.
Oh, wait.
So here I'm just going to do a little bit of gameplay in here.
Oh yeah, also the bots are just joining him.
And the way these bots work is they, I think they have little nodes they have to follow.
Yeah, pathfinding.
And some of the maps, they don't have a node exactly, so
Yeah.
they kind of just stop.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, the maps, especially the official ones that had the pathfinding for the bots, they, it was such an incredible thing back in the day. And I don't know if the developer of the Eraser bots mod actually was hired for Quake 3 to make them for, well, Quake 3, of course, the single-player campaign, or just to fill some players with bots, or player slots with bots. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. It was later on in Quake 3 as well.
That's why that guy was just standing there.
Yeah.
At some points you'll see people just standing there.
Yeah, and the thing is, if they just, like he mentioned, if the bots don't actually have any pathfinding on the map, they would actually, well, yeah, just stand on the map, or maybe even just wander around aimlessly, walk into a wall or something like that with their weapon in hand. And if they do see you, they just try to attack and strafe and everything. That's what they also do in, well, Skull Tag Deathmatch, or even like before that. I don't know what was the multiplayer port for Doom 2 before Skull Tag. I think there wasn't any. But in any case, Skull Tag also had that for Doom 2, a community source port. And nowadays we have Zanjonum, which was continued off from Skull Tag, and it still has it, to say the least. And I've made the multiplayer mod for Vanilla Doom 2 and tested it with bots only, thanks to that.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh
Like
man,
that.
came up with my face.
Yeah, they got, like, seriously.
Great way to
All
get
they
some
do-
bacon in the morning, right?
Just stand still and look at the wall.
Right
It's
in
like,
the face.
this is my life now. This is fine. This map actually looks
I love
very
the
shimilar
shotgun in this
to
game. Kinda
Unreal
reminds me of,
Tournaments
there's just a dude sitting here.
map. I can't remember that name,
Kind of
but if,
reminds me of Gears of War, but
if you already see this map, and if you've seen Unreal Tournaments, that one map I just mentioned, you might be familiar with that.
Gears of War 2 shotgun wasn't as reliable, and in this game it's pretty dang powerful. And
It
that's
sure
what I mean
is.
by Gears of War 1, it was a
It was
powerful
even
gun.
before Quake 2, you
Used
know.
often. Trying to find the armor around this corner somewhere.
Even in Quake 1, although it
I know
was
there's
much
some cell armor
slower in
around
Quake
here.
1.
Oh, here we go. Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna jump over here to a little secret in this map.
Oof.
The BFG.
Damn, what a secret. No bot is actually just contesting him to get that.
Ah, I get shot in the
one
back.
is.
See that? He's got like perfect aim. And I don't know why they stopped moving all of a sudden.
It's bots.
It's like I'm hidden from them.
Wait, so that's why
got
Quake
that, like,
Champions
close
bots
to
cannot
perfect aim
actually
with
be edited too much. Pretty much all the bots in, well, maybe any game, they either have just like very poor aim or a very good aim. There's no in between, usually. That's why even Quake Champions might have that issue. I don't know, someday they might fix it, but yeah.
That's hypercell gun.
Hyper Blaster.
It's
Hyper
a pain in the
Blaster.
ass to dodge when they have it.
Ooh, rocket. Let's not use the
Yeah,
rocket
Quake 2
squall.
was one of the first games that I actually bought map editor for, and
Well
started
craft. Where's it?
making maps. Was back in Quake 2. So I started making maps around late 1990s.
Holy shit.
I think before 2000.
It was before 2000 and before I was even born, to say the least. God damn it. It was a. I missed so much. I was born in the wrong year, for God's sake. I will kill us. I can still enjoy the
A lot of
history.
stuff I like to make was with snow,
That's why I've done the series.
waterfalls, ice coming down. Then when we went to,
Oh, yeah.
to Counter-Strike, that's what I moved on to. But I don't forget about this game.
Thankfully, you
In
don't.
your ass.
In your
Oh
ass.
man, I think I'm gonna die here.
Yeah, the bots actually do have one hell of an
That's
accuracy
eight.
with the Eraser mod.
I could die again later. See, people use a strategy like that. They jump and they fire right through the hallway before you come there. They use the sound a lot, just like in Counter-Strike. I use the sound all the time, so I know where somebody is. Pretty much like any new game nowadays, people use sound to kill their enemy.
It will be cool new things if you'll have the sensitivity to notice them as they appear. Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be damned. Like, you mean in Quake Champions, yeah. Damn. I do have the sensitivity.
You gotta have one edge above them if you're just gonna use a gun, right?
I mean, I'm very curious to very little things in basically any game. I just play very long. And I have played Quake Champions super long, so that's pretty much it. So thanks for noticing when you were studying what. Then what? Oh, you were interested in assembly. Yeah, I see, yeah. Damn. Yeah, because you study computer science, right? That might have been something else, actually, yeah. But in any case, like, I don't know if this guy's gonna show, like, any of the, like, all the mods. We're just gonna have to, skip some of the sections a little bit if he's not gonna change, but yeah. The golden age was in the 70s. What? Thought I was born too late. Yeah, you were wrong. Probably is what? Cue the dramatic music here. I don't know. No one knows what is cool when it happens. Yeah. That is actually. That's pretty much true. But hang on, I don't want to skip this guy's commentary and just hear. I just want to hear his stories about the times back then. But we actually have to go on here, so sorry about that. So he's actually gonna set his game to Quake 2
Nobody plays
CTF.
Jailbreak anymore, do they? Every time I go to a server, it's like empty.
And I think it's still empty, or there's no server for that matter.
Not only that, they're laggy as heck. See like a ping
Things
of 3
become
and 500.
cool
It's
only
like,
afterwards,
excuse
yeah.
me, do you think I want to come to your server and play? It's horrible. I remember when I was younger, we only had 56k modem in this town. Actually, it ran less than that speed, but it was at least a 56k.
Wait, what's he?
500. It's
What
like,
speed?
Excuse me, do you think I want to come to your server and play? It's horrible. I remember when I was younger, we only had 56k modem in this town. Actually, it ran less than that speed, but it was at least a 56k modem. And with that, lucky to get anywhere of a ping of 250-ish. Then when we got DSL, we were mostly playing Counter-Strike at the time, so
Yeah.
it kind of sucked that I had to get it at that time, but I mean, it was better than not getting it.
Jailbreak,
And
finally.
now with cable.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, I heard from somebody, I think it was like, who also plays Quake Champions nowadays, but I can't remember his name. I think it was Slomo, like SLOMO, nicknamed like that. He said that back in the day when people had like 56k modems, Slomo's like local, what is it, fire department, I guess. They had access to DSL, and so yeah, I don't know. He kind of borrowed their internet a little, and eventually it was much faster. Maybe played with a ping of 30 even. versus ping of 200 or something. I don't even know like what the ping count was, but I can tell it was huge compared to like a ping of 30. And people couldn't even play with him anymore. And that's why he's called slow-mo. He's just like, god damn it, playing faster than anybody else. He's just playing slow motion versus others.
So here's Jailbreak. And Jailbreak was a really cool mod. Now this is where there's two teams. You've got the red team and the blue team, obviously. And
Obviously.
they usually have bases. See, my mouse is getting all making me mad.
Blah.
But they usually have bases. You got a jail on my left back there.
Yeah.
And then you have these armories that you can get into, but the opposite teams cannot. That's a pretty cool idea. Just practicing my aiming right here.
So it's pretty much like Team
It's kind of
Fortress.
crappy. Because that mouse
Like
is just ticking
in
me
terms
off.
of the whole base thing.
But here's the jail. You can't open it if you're on the same team. It has to be opposite team. Which is kind of cool. There's a glitch I found a while back. Just threw some guns and grenades and stuff through the wall. You give them to the prisoners. It's not like they can really do anything unless they get out of there. That's cool about this mod. You can jump on top of each other and get through that hole and come out and rescue everybody. But the way you get in the jail is if you get killed. If the opposite team kills you. So if I go out and kill somebody on the blue team, they'll be in the jail. And if they try to escape, well,
Oh yeah.
then I'll kill them.
Oh my
And you can
god.
see when I killed myself, I ended up in the opposite side of the map, which was the blue team's jail. And you can hear that music. But the cool thing about the latest version of Jailbreak back then, which is still the latest version now, you have execution modes, or excuse me, they have like execution traps. And this one has like a laser and a wall that crushes you, but each map has usually something unique. And what I really liked about this, well, one, you can't just go in those jails unless you want to be in prison. I mean, it puts you in there. You lose your weapons and everything, so it kind of treats you don't go in there. But one thing I really liked about this was that it was done
Do not
professional,
enter.
in my opinion. You can tell it's professional on each of these maps that I played through. It just got more and more professional. Whoever set this up back then knew what they were doing, and took the time and made this mode, or excuse me, this mod, and it was just great. Now, whoever made this map, this is the longest tunnel I have ever seen. But what's interesting about this is they thought,
The longest
okay,
tunnel, not the yard.
if someone's hiding out in the armory and the opposite team can't get in there, then they can just hide out in there. But what they have done is they always leave some kind of opening or somewhere you can shoot a grenade or a rocket into, and the team can get in there still.
Oh.
And then once in, they can hit a button that lets everybody into the armory.
my
So
God.
what's good about this is you could have a person going to rescue somebody from jail, and the armory opens from that side,
What?
and you can get weapons instantly. There I am showing the execution kind of stuff. And so yeah, this was
That
a
is
great
a
game back
very
then, or excuse me,
cool
mod.
Yeah.
Because you kill somebody, they go in jail, and it was fun to just capture people and keep them in the jail, and then protect them from being rescued. It was a
Damn.
great mod. That kind of mod I could see
Damn.
working on Fear instead of that freaking fucking run from wall,
Freaking fucking
which is
wrong.
stupid as hell in
Yeah.
my opinion. Sorry for my words, but just getting to that point. And here's an old map that I really liked, and they kind of redone it.
Oh, the
redefined it,
strong flags.
redone it.
The,
Here's what I'm gonna test out.
Nazi strong flags are now green, actually, on the other side. I don't know.
My mouse a little bit, see if I can
Like, why?
shoot dead on in that center of that hole right there.
Boom.
That's the vent that you get out of if you're a prisoner.
Oh, I see.
Remember, again, this was so fun because if you're in
You
prison,
could do
you're
guard
waiting.
duty here.
Everyone that's in prison would try to work together to get out the vent, and then there would be guards guarding that hole and kill you. But if you got out, it was a lot of fun. You know, all these prisoners would run out, and chaos would start up. It was a great thing. Really miss it. But yeah, like I was saying, if this was in Fear, this would be insane to play something like this. But Fear really just ticks me off because Fear 1 was in my opinion, the greatest multiplayer
Oh yeah.
Of course, in its series, but
Yeah, and I will get to the whole Fear series, don't you worry. But the thing is, I don't know about Fear 2 if I should play that through. But I will get to the first one. I will just like when I'm covering like horror FPS, I think Fear has to be in the like I'm on the first ones. Maybe second if there's like something before that. I mean I already did through 3, so that's one less. And just like many more to go. There's also Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth by Bethesda. I think was released in 2004. But in any case, I will discover what the hell, cover all the horror FPS as well. It's an FPS series for God's sake.
it was a really good multiplayer. But I mean, it was the greatest in its series. So, being the second one and the third one, I do not
And also
like.
the third one, yeah.
I just don't. See, this is where
I might be playing through the second one, the second Fear, but not the third one. Maybe I don't know.
it was funny. Something cool to do. You could flip off and wave.
Oh yeah, with the
So
models,
the
yeah,
person
that's
in there
super
could only
cool.
look at you and see what you're doing. But yeah, that's just a glitch right there. It lets me throw stuff in there. So we're gonna go ahead and change my skin here. This is what came with the jailbreak.
Homer Simpson.
It's some kind of alien-looking thing. It's pretty cool
Yep.
with the sound. Giddy up, giddy up.
Oh, it's giddy up.
Like a cowboy alien, maybe. Just needs some spurs and a horse.
Giddy up.
But yeah, a lot of people also put their aiming down on 0, the hand 0, so they don't see
Oh,
this
yeah.
this railgun, excuse me, on their screen.
Yeah, so
But-
technically the weapons were in the center of your screen, but like even the option showed that you can just put your hand in this either to the right, or to the left, or to the center. But if it was in the center, it wouldn't be like in Quake 1. It would just be like this. You had no hands, you had nothing to shoot with, but you still shot.
But back then, I kind of liked
At the
having the
enemies.
view better. And what ID Software did was, if you had your hand on the right, then your crosshair was a little bit to the right, I believe, and same with the left. And so if you had it in the
No,
center,
I think the crosshair was still pretty much in the same place, but you still aimed a little bit to the right when it was right. That is, and also to the left when it
which
was
it doesn't
left.
show
but
good
yeah.
at all, then it's in the center exactly, which I think is kind of dumb because then it gives me a reason why not to have my gun on the screen, you know. But that's why I like Black Ops, Call of Duty Black Ops, or any of the first-person shooters like that. You look down the sights of your gun, it comes towards the center. Makes more sense.
Yeah, then there's people like him maybe that just like the modern FPS setting a little bit more, and that's why I guess Call of Duty just like popularized that a little bit. I mean, it wasn't even only that, but like the games that actually just made like aiming down sights possible. I cannot even tell what the first one was. I'll have to actually look up to that, but it wasn't Medal of Honor Allied Assault because you cannot even do that. Do that in there. I think it was the first Call of Duty, but I might be wrong. Correct me on that if I am wrong. But I will get to the whole Call of Duty series maybe when I get to the World War II shooters. And not only the first 3, although Call of Duty 3 is maybe very hard to obtain, but otherwise Call of Duty 1 and 2 are just must do, and maybe United Offensive, the expansion for the first one. And then Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. I know that one is getting like some kind of another remaster, but I will still be doing the very first one from 2007. Mitäs täällä tapahtuu? Täällä tapahtuu vaikka mitä. We're watching, or not this is actually here. What's happening here? We're watching a couple Quake 2 videos here featuring the very history of Quake 2. I mean, well, this guy's just playing the game. It's just a gameplay video, but he's also telling like his history about the, or like when he was playing Quake 2 back in the day, when he was modding and everything. And these are many of the mods he used back in the day. Freeze tag wasn't in the next pack 1 extremities, so the add-on for Quake 2. But I would be happy to see that. Where's that? I think he's still playing this map.
Excuse me?
Yep. Giddy up. Tire break. Which is
Before
switching
we
to
get off
now.
topic too far. The player was great, except for the cheaters. I couldn't take the cheating in that game. It was ridiculous.
CGF.
Then again, Counter-Strike
think
has
he's
a lot
trying
of
to get
cheaters
this to
too in all these
work.
games now. But going back to that, before we get off topic too far,
You love Quake
I
1,
really liked
yeah.
the combat
I love it
in
too.
Fear 1.
I mean, there's nothing more influential than just Quake 1, but Quake 2 was, like, still, it influenced many things, but so did Quake 1. But without Quake 1, there wouldn't be Quake 2 influencing and, like, many more things. But Quake 2, I've already told this in the stream, but if you're watching this VOD, just skip this if you want. But the thing is, Quake 2 just included many of the trends of FPS gaming, especially in Quake 1, yeah. Many of the mods. For example, CTF, or Capture the Flag, 3-Wave Capture the Flag, was included as an official game mode, or, a mod, for Quake 2 in the latest update, the multiplayer update. And as well as 64 player support for servers and everything, and a dedicated server support, and shit. Just many things in just one executable, which was just Quake2.exe. There was OpenGL, or in general just hardware accelerated graphics, and multiplayer. There was no longer GL Quake. There was no longer Quake World. I mean, if there was, it just would be Quake 2 World or GL Quake 2, but everything was in the same executable.
For multiplayer, it was there. And for Fear 2,
what was?
Topic too far. I really liked the combat in Fear 1 for multiplayer. It was there.
You're talking about Fear here.
And for Fear 2, it was a little way too off. I like there being, basically realistic, where you grab a weapon, you go to the
played
next
Quake
one.
World TDM, of course I
You don't
have.
have to base yourself
Although it wasn't
completely on
TDM, but it was like deathmatch, of course, and I don't know. I did a special episode already of Quake World, so it's as a VOD on my channel pretty much. If you just go to videos and there's the whole Goals of FPS playlist somewhere, you can probably see there's a special episode. I think I'll actually have to, unless I already have created a special episode list on Twitch on the videos, and I will add this as well as the previous ones already to that list, so you can watch all the specials if you want. But Quake World I did also, and I played like DM or free for all. Milton is insane. I couldn't agree more. He is insane. He has dominated the scene for a while. I don't know if he probably still plays. I can tell, but yeah. But in any case, I also not only did I play Quake World, I also watched many of the videos I posted here in the same list as I'm watching this from. But those are a couple of frag videos, maybe only one frag video, I can't tell. Or yeah, maybe a couple. But also some demo footage of some multiplayer game or a duel or a free-for-all game. And that is something else. As well, I think the first ever video I actually uploaded on this list, or just added on this list, was the Quake World launch event of 1996. And I'm not going to watch that here, but it can be found on YouTube. You need to watch that. Just type, I guess, Quake World launch event on YouTube. You'll find that it's amazing. It's an amazing thing, and it was an amazing thing back then, because, damn it. TCP/IP was gone in Quake, and now there was Quake World. My goodness. There was also a rare interview by John Carmack there, so.
Class. I'm sure a class would be a little nice, but I don't like the completeness of it.
Oh, yeah. He's talking about the CTF classes that were also later on in Quake 3 Team Arena. But these ones are a little different by name. I think they're just basically the same by functions, but I don't know if there's... Yeah, I don't know, actually. Let him explain.
You can only do... I'm kind of bad at saying that. you're stuck to something you can only do. And that being like in Fear 2, you start out with a pistol and a sniper. You pick what class you want, but then you don't really find that gun later, unless you kill somebody that has it. And then the mech warrior kind of stuff, which is just kind of cheesy in my opinion. It was just, what the hell is this kind of game?
But yeah,
being able to use it multiplayer, no, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you. But now he's getting to Rocket Arena, I think, and this would be the thing that later on became as Clan Arena in Quake 3, I think. And Clan Arena wasn't in official game mode in Quake 3, nor in Quake 3 Team Arena, I think, but it was a mod, basically. It was, I guess you could call it Rocket Arena 3, but it was just Clan Arena. And that was something else. Players just spawned on the other side of the map. I think, yeah, there were two teams, and the other team just spawned on the other side of the map. The other team just on the other side. And they would spawn with full stack, full ammo, full, like all the weapons and everything. Except the BFG, maybe. But yeah, that was something else, and that still is something else. But nowadays in Quake Champions, what they have done is the Slipgate mode, which is basically Clan Arena, with an objective this time. Other than just killing the opposing team, you also have a slipgate to close, and the teams basically switch sides every round. And I think the rounds go like best of 9. So you need 5 rounds to win the match. And the thing is, one team has to like protect their slipgate on the other side of the map, and the other team is trying to like close it. And the thing is, I think there's a 2-minute timer to the round, and when the timer actually goes down, the slipgate will be opened by the team. I've played so much Quake Live Clan Arena. In Quake Live it was an official game mode, but in Quake 3 it still wasn't. I think it was still a mod, because I haven't played it. I haven't played any Quake 3 mods, and I will get to those. I will get to CPMA, I will get to maybe Clan Arena, I will get to everything else that was trending back in the day, as well as many Tech 3 games, I guess.
So, yeah, I just thought that was a big drop on the ball right there. That wasn't why I had gotten Fear 1.
Oh yeah, you're still talking about Fear.
Yeah, that's why. Why I got Fear 1. I'm not going to play Fear 2 because it looks better. I'm looking for a fun
God
game.
damn it, this is an episode about Quake 2 multiplayer.
It was good. But, again, the multiplayer, walls, and not being able to do that in Fear 2 kind of pissed me off. It's like, well, you went from being
I hope he's actually
to being
introducing Rocket Arena right here. So
the Combat Wars.
Oh, this map. This map is from Hypnotic, or like what the hell, Scourge of Armagon of Quake 1, the first expansion. I loved this map when I played it, and I did see the multiplayer demo basically when I started the game up. That's a very nice demo when you just start up Scourge of Armagon. You can see the multiplayer demo basically, and it featured many of the multiplayer weapons from Scourge of Armagon. There's now that new Quake 2 RTX, I know, and I have played it. I have tried it with RTX, and I've done this on stream, or I've told this on stream many times already. I have a GTX 1070 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM on it, GDDR5 VRAM. So I ran Quake 2 RTX pretty much with all full settings, 1080p, and I had a whopping 12 FPS with my GTX 1070. It's ready for RTX. No, it's not actually. No, it's horrible. No, it's not horrible, seriously, but like I love the fact that people were overreacting to to the demo. Like, it's god damn it, I need to get an RTX card to run this crap now. What the hell? This is pretty much the only shit that can run it. But no, it was an RTX demo. You didn't even need to have it. But those that did have the RTX card could actually test the capabilities of just like real-time lighting and real-time shadows and everything. That was super cool. Tämä oppia ammattikoulussa. Oh man, you've had such a history basically. real nutters in vocational school at the time, 16 to 17 or 18 years old, they played this map. Seriously. Wow. During their computer classes. When the teacher wasn't looking, yeah. But, like, where was I? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Now I got blacked out completely, for God's sake. What was I talking about? Hypnotic. What did I get into? Yeah, Quake 2 RTX. The thing is, it's a demo for Quake 2 RTX, or like RTX in general, what the hell. And only meant to run on the cards, of course, that had RTX. And these demos in Quake 2, and I think Minecraft also had one, they would later just push the prices a little bit down, but also now that E3 has showcased many games that are using ray tracing technology, I can already tell the prices will be going down, if not already are going down, pretty quick. But anyway, Quake 2 now.
Probably because it was too glitchy. People would pop out left from the wall and then start shooting, and if they did it a certain
Stop
way, they
talking
could
about
shoot
this
from behind the
shit.
wall, and people would be like, "What the heck?
Oh, this guy
it's
has
coming out of the wall
multiple
somewhere, and I don't see a guy."
maps on the.
Here's Rocket Arena, which was really nice. About Rocket Arena, there was several arenas around the map,
Oh.
and you could pick what team you want to be on,
I see.
and it would take you to an arena area. There would be sometimes one huge arena part of the map, or it was just one arena in the whole map, and everybody would join only 2 teams. But what was great about this is you could also change what would be in the arena. So if you only want shotguns allowed or only rail guns and whatnot, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But you'd have teams too. So like if me and some dude were really good, we'd stay as team 1, and then we'd fight a team 2, and then after we killed them, team 3 and team 4, and we'd go on and on until someone beats us and keep a record. And it was a lot of bragging and stuff. It was just fun. Also, we had like the hook, the grapple.
Yeah, grappling
where you
hook.
could shoot it up to the ceiling, and your guy would go flying up, and it was really cool back then doing that. And you don't really see that now with any of the games.
No, you don't. Thankfully, he mentioned that. Like, you don't see any action like this in games nowadays. And this video, when was it released or like published? 2011. 8 years later, they still haven't actually implemented any of that in the whole AAA scene, I guess, if you want to call that. But indie FPS, on the other hand, have, to say the least. But I think only a few of them, and even the few that actually have, might have not implemented, for example, the grappling hook of Quake 2 or something else, if they just actually wanted to implement that. But damn. There's also many arena FPS, like indie arena FPS that is, that also have had many tournaments and everything. And it was they were all pretty much popularized thanks to like or by Quake 3 and Quake, like all the Quake series. But I don't know. Indie FPS nowadays have still implemented some of that pure gold of the golden days.
Except maybe Bio Commander, I think it is.
Bio Commander.
Biotech Commander, something like that. One of those games I got for the Xbox, which is actually pretty cool. Just a little too short and missing some content. I'll have to show that game out.
Yeah, just don't show it right here. This is about Quake 2, for God's sake. But yeah, I can understand that there still was
I don't remember why I'm killing myself
some
right
indie
here.
tries. Yeah, why are you killing yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm showing Vanilla capture the flag. And there's these power-ups.
Victory
that
sound is
obviously I start with sometimes. We've got power. Oh no, this is freeze tag. Excuse me.
yeah,
Yeah.
freeze tag.
See right there. The cool thing about freeze tag. Oh my gosh, freeze tag was a lot of fun.
It
If
sure
you kill
was.
somebody.
I actually remember playing it in Quake Live, but that's why I'm this young. Goddammit, I only played it in Quake Live. It was such a blast playing it.
This is 2 teams again. If you killed somebody on the opposite team, they were frozen,
Yeah,
and you could hide their body.
yeah.
Talk about that's cool as heck. So you
And I sure remember people just pummeling me into the corner, and just like guarding in the corner, like with their railgun or rocket launcher or something else. If somebody just came by, they would actually be, they would freeze them, and then just like push them into the corner again, or they would be frozen themselves, and they were like, "Yep, I'm just gonna push you to the corner now. I'll throw my teammate here."
A hook or a grapple, so you could grab their
Bionic
body, hide it up
Commando,
somewhere
yeah, it could
high,
be actually.
and put all these bodies in place. And the only way to revive the people is to go up there if you're on the same team,
Yeah,
and
just go
wait
right
3
next to them.
seconds for them to unfreeze, and they'd
Yeah.
be revived.
With Thor.
So that was kind of cool. Kill some people, and you know, you've got you're trapping them basically. They see, hey, I'll go rescue that guy, and then they get killed by somebody else, and you keep throwing guys in a room,
It's a trap.
and they can't do anything. They're just standing there waiting.
Surprise.
Start writing out some text. Hey man, come save me. This is stupid. Well, it's your fault for dying, you know. So here's vanilla capture the flag. And basically, it's just capture the flag that's able to work on any of the Quake 2 maps, I believe,
Alright.
or maybe at least some of them. Shouldn't say any.
So
'cause
there's
I can't
actually,
really
yeah,
remember.
alright.
I
So,
just
so
know-
sorry if I was actually talking about something else, but the thing is, Vanilla Capture the Flag is a different mod then, yeah. It's just trying to, like, play it on the regular maps of Quake
Some
2
of
then.
them, there's a flag, but I don't see a flag in this map. And what was interesting is the teleporter's missing back there. I don't know why. It's getting pretty close to the end of this video, though.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. The thing is, we have to move on a little bit, and the thing is, I don't know if he's showing anything else here, but we pretty much seen all here. But Rail Arena is next. A very, very popular mod back in the day in Quake 2. And Rail Arena would later on become Instagib in Quake 3 and pretty much in, well, I don't know, many other Arena FPS that actually wanted to create it there. I don't know if Half-Life Deathmatch, for example, had its own version of like Instagib, because it had the Gauss cannon, and well, yeah, you didn't even have to modify people's health because the the railgun already was one hell of a beast. But this is Real Arena gameplay in just like what, 6 minutes. So not even a full round here. I think a full round would be 10 minutes. And you had a railgun on spawn. It's just pretty much like Instagib, yeah. It's that simple. Railguns only, one hit, one kill. And this was probably the fastest sniping of the 90s ever. Thanks to just a simple mod in Quake 2, which was so easy to create as to just give the player a railgun on spawn. That's about it. Just disable everything else. Items, weapons on the map, everything. Railguns only. And later on, yeah, this was in Quake 3 as well as a mod. And then that one was called Instagib. And yeah. Quake, sorry about that. Quake Live and even Quake Champions have them as official game modes. And there's also a real Arena FPS game on Steam even that's based on the mode itself. Rats Instagib. And in that game you could even rocket jump with your railgun technically, and yeah. I don't know if you could call that a rail jump, but yeah. You insta-killed your opponents and everything, and you could rail jump for even better heights. I don't know if that was more risky. That's pretty much it. We don't even have to watch this whole 6 minutes here, so... Damn. 1 hour of Quake 2, what? Oh yeah, Quake 2, what is it? Chaos Deathmatch. We're not gonna watch this whole 1 hour gameplay of it, but... This is still fascinating. Chaos Deathmatch added even more weapons, even more, how would I say, fast action and everything, even more sound files and models. I don't know why that guy's AFK there. I just, like, only watched the few minutes of this. And I think this is, like, recorded in 2016 or something like that, so... Like, I don't know if it was on one server where just somebody had like a party, like, hey, maybe we should play this mod. After a while, we haven't played it, and then this guy just recorded the gameplay pretty much. But I like that even the railgun has a different sound. If you can hear that when he fires it, it's a real goddamn blaster now. Sounds more like a BFG this time. But anyway, what Chaos Deathmatch was just a different kind of deathmatch. Same rules still applied, but there were just many new weapons and everything. I think this is supposed to be the rocket launcher instead. Is there? Yeah, they're explosive. Explosive darts or something like that. I don't know. Damn, just many new sounds though. Oh, well, boom. Anyway, we're not gonna even watch 2 minutes, but Quake 2 with the Razor bots this time. God damn it, you're loud. Rocky music. 2016 even, yeah. Yeah. I already told about the Eraser bots pretty much, but it was such a fascinating thing back in the day. And I don't know how it was coded, or I don't even know how bots are coded nowadays. Cyberx might know if you're still there. But it was a fascinating thing back in the day. Just to code like artificial intelligence that would actually just play with you in a real 3D environment. And just like, doesn't even have to play with you, it just plays around with the map itself. Yeah, you just created nodes like the one guy just mentioned, or made the bot just find paths and everything on the map. And if it encountered a player, it would just immediately attack and just perform an attack move and everything like that. And the same applies for bots today, although I don't know if they're more efficient nowadays or have been more innovative in some ways, but I think the basic principle, of course, is still there. They still need the pathfinding on the map to actually work on. I don't know who made this track. I don't know if it's copyrighted, but in the end I'll be making a highlight of this VOD, so yeah, we'll be actually muted here. But in any case, like, this isn't Sonic Mayhem, to say the least. AI program is a pretty special thing, yeah. I mean, it depends what brand you're on in the AI programming thing, so that's about it. Wow! I don't know who made this track, but it's awesome. Might make a MIDI out of this as well. Speaking of which, I have been making like some, like in my free time here. When I haven't streamed, I've been making, like, composing MIDIs and everything. I already told them in basically at the beginning of my stream, but yeah, that's about it. Also, I like the Eraser bots that they also like talk a little. I mean, they have their own lines they're constantly repeating when they, for example, when they kill people, of course, and when they die, and when they die too many times, or right on spawn, that is, they have different lines. Now later on, the whole aspect of Eraser bots, especially the chatting and everything, was implemented in Skulltag, or Skulltag Doom 2 Sourceport. I think we're getting to the point now where AIs could learn to look at pictures and actually play the game. I see. So, yeah. That would actually be very interesting. Like, this time you had, like, real-time bots, I could say, maybe, I don't know. These already act on real-time, or in real-time. But, yeah. This time you had, like, some kind of a bot just, like, visualizing the screen itself and everything. Pretty confident QC bots cheat and look at data directly instead of looking at a video capture of the screen. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they actually do that, but I'm very sure they, yeah. The data itself, like the eraser bots right here, and that's pretty much it. We're at the Quake 2 jailbreak mod, which is pretty much spectated and not viewed from first person, so sorry about that. But in any case, this is the jailbreak mod. And this is a different map the guy showed us, I think, so it will be having a different punishment for the prisoners here. But like about the eraser bots a little bit though. The chatting and everything, yeah, that was implemented in Skulltag, and Skulltag Doom 2 added many of the player models and everything from like other games as well. In traditional like community modding Doom 2 action, or like action, what the hell? Like tradition, I mean, what the hell? Where'd action came from? I guess I've been veering too much Action Quake 2 already. But in any case, like the community of Doom 2, well, this might be a little off topic since it's Doom 2 and not Quake 2, but the community of that decided that, yeah, we can actually just get these sprites from other shooters as well. I mean, the ones that actually were Doom clones. They just mod the hell out of them. And that's what Skulltag actually did with the player sprites and everything, even weapons, I guess you could say. And later on, people in Doom 2's multiplayer wouldn't even copy some like sprites from different Doom clones. They would also copy models from like 3D shooters and make them sprites and enter the game. That's also what Skulltag did, I believe. But other than that, and other than Skulltag, there also has been like I don't know, Russian Overkill, which is in the multiplayer mod, but in any case, it has like as funny as the mod is, it still has like many of the weapon and some of the sprites from like multiple games. And the latest iteration could be Quake Champions Doom Edition, where it has added champions from many games, many classic FPS games. And the champions themselves are just classic FPS protagonists, to say the least. And the latest, actually, I'm not gonna spoil what the latest champ and the last champ is. You can just watch the trailer they posted like the day before yesterday, I'm pretty sure. But in any case, they have been adding like the classic FPS protagonists. If you make bots that actually play the game, the problem is making them good enough. Yeah. If you make the bots that cheat, you have the reverse problem. Yeah, it's just not too good. Yeah. Yeah, they actually play the game. That is one thing actually. Yeah, if it's just like if you have one bot just visualizing and looking at the interface itself or the screen, it could actually like identify where to go next. But like if you have a programmed bot inside the executable, I guess, it would just follow the nodes and everything that are like, even if they're not looking at that direction, they still have the nodes and everything in their head, while the bot that's actually like looking at the screen itself does not. Although it does recognize the environment and everything, but it's not like it recognizes the environments right around the screen as well. But yeah, other than that, I think this is pretty much the last video. Yep, it is just the first one again, the Quake World launch event. So otherwise, I won't be playing the Quake 2 multiplayer right now on what is it, Quake 2 Pro, the source port. So I won't make any promises this time, but I believe that Friday I might continue Goals of FPS with Quake 3 Team Arena. And I don't know if I will actually cover like the mods of Quake 3 right after that, but I will have to get to Quake 4 and then Unreal pretty much. Just very fast here. You need to add some logic to make them worse, yeah. Otherwise you end up with Quake 3.0 that has 100% rail, yeah. Exactly. And that's also like after a few attempts. Sorry about that. Very much learnable, I guess. It's let's just say close to 100%, yeah. They just like lock into you. That's pretty much it. But in any case, I think this is pretty much my stream right here. I'm just gonna roll the video, I guess. So otherwise, I will return. I won't be probably returning, but I most likely will be returning on Friday, just to continue up Goals of FPS in Quake 3 Team Arena, and I'm just honestly covering the rest later on of Quake 3. I mean, so that'll be pretty much it. After Quake 3 Team Arena, it will be Quake 4. After Quake 4, maybe I will cover its multiplayer, but after that, it will be Unreal. And I cannot wait for that, seriously. I've been just languishing this series for a little too long. But now we're finally just progressing it. So otherwise, it is bon voyage, and best of luck to your future endeavors. See you on Friday, most likely. Goodbye for now.